Hey guys, this is 246 Chris here from Editor Studios Incorporated, and today I will be giving you a Blender tutorial. Blender is a 3D animating program that you can use to animate many things, not only Minecraft. Let's just get a color. That's good. Yeah. Just basically to animate stuff in 3D. So, as you can see, I am using Blender 2.70a. I'm not fully updated. There's 2.71. But to download it, it is free, by the way. But you can donate, and I would suggest donating because I have, and it's pretty awesome. They are in euros, by the way, just heads up. But blender.org is the site. And right on their page, they'll have it download. So this is awesome. This is what they do. They're working on the Gooseberry project. Yeah. And if you go there, they got this. I'm not gonna go into that. And it says right there how to do it. But if you, let me see if I can find it. I'm looking for the update news. Yeah, it's probably here. Yeah, so they work with every update. They do pretty awesome things. Bug fixes. A lot of times it's like, I've seen like 936 fix bugs or something like crazy like that, but it's awesome. See, this is what you can do in it. Pretty awesome. Okay, now to the actual tutorial. So you've seen what Blender is. Now it is time to show you the basics of how to use it. So let's start with shortcuts. Okay, so shortcuts are basically buttons that you can press so that you can do things faster. For example, if I wanted to add a cube, I would have to, oh gosh, sorry, it's a little laggy now. But if I want to add a cube, I would go here, add mesh cube. Mesh is basically the object that you're trying to make. I'm really laggy right now. And then you can also go here. As you can see, it's again under mesh. You can add a cube, and you look at. By the way, see if I just. You could press delete or X to delete it. Just by the way, if you click cube, it'll give you the cube, and then you'd have to assign it to the material that it gives you, or add a new one and edit it to your liking. But if you didn't want to have to click around here and go over here, and you were focused on this, you could easily do it by pressing Shift and A at the same time, and that gives the pop-up menu from here. But this one is like upside down for some reason. You can flip it to top if you want to, but that looks really weird. If you didn't want that to look weird, then you can make this flip to top. But I am really not used to it that way, so I'm not going to do that. So, oh yeah, okay. Okay, so, then other things that you can do. Oh, and by the way, in my add menu, I have all this stuff because I just went into user preferences, add, and I did all this. And like I put everything. Speaking of user preferences, here, not yet. Sorry, I got carried away. Right now we're gonna do some more shortcuts. So to save just like anything, you do Control S, and then you do it to wherever you want. And as you can see, it's got save and save as. If you wanted to save as, you can go to your. I have different files here. You can search them by going here. Oops, nope, cancel. Yeah, I'm glad that it added that. Usually when you'd like X out, it would just X out and it wouldn't say like, oh, you haven't saved, and it would just X out. And all your progress would be lost. Okay, so now lag. Go away. I'm clicking like everything. Okay. So now you can do Control N to reload the startup file. You can do F12 to render the image, and you can do F11 to get out of that. It's also up here. Alt A to play the animation, Alt A to pause it, Shift left arrow to go all the way to the left, Shift right arrow to go all the way to the right, up arrow to go to the nearest keyframe, but it doesn't have that, down to go to the nearest keyframe behind the green bar, sorry. Just right arrow key to go through the keyframes, and you can click around or type in the keyframe you want. This end, if I set it to 50, it would loop as that. I to set a keyframe, let's do location. Let's go to 25. I don't think there are 0.5 segments. But let's just move it over here. I, location, move it back. I, location. So you have a little animation. Just move it back and forth, and then it would loop that. So, look at our little cube that's going side to side. If you want to render the animation, there's probably, yeah, you'd go up here, render, Control F12. Okay, so you do Control F12 to render the animation, but I'm not going to do that. Alt I in the 3D view to delete the keyframe. Alt I delete. Alt I delete. Set this back to 250. Oh, and by the way, you click here to do that, or you can press enter to do that. You can also set the start point, but you can't put your slidey thing over to the negatives. It can be at 0, but I'd recommend just starting at 1. And then this is your settings for resolution. As you can see, the camera switch to how I did it. Oh, wait. So now the end of the camera is a square. Yep, doing that. Okay, so now, well, I sort of went into everything there. Not everything, that was like nothing. But then there is that. Actually, I think that was the basics of shortcuts. I will see you next time for user preferences. Okay, user preferences are basically just saying what you want all this to say. Like what you can make it do what you want when it starts up or whenever. So if you go into user preferences, there's all this stuff. And you can click on this different things. So if you do mesh, you could check these. If you went to add, which is not here, you go to add. Nope. No. All. Add. Yep. Oh, okay. I'm gonna add a chain. Yay! Just a little guy. Yay! But this basically says what you can do. So now I can add mesh chain. And it's two little circles that are chained together. How terrific. Okay. So back to the user preferences. You can do all this stuff, but what I'm going to show you how to do now is the basic user preferences. So go ahead and open this up. You're probably going to have these two things checked when you open it. So uncheck these. And guess what? I'll show you why right now. Okay, so if we go to UV editing, which is telling it to put a picture on it, I'm just going to texture one side. But if you do this, open an image, let's just do this, desktop pictures, let's do my Enderman test. That's so awesome, isn't it? But, oh, by the way, to see the textures, you're gonna have to go over here, not in display, in shading, textured solid. And as you can see, it's sideways, so we're gonna do R90 negative. So that's like that. And then what you can do to make it a square is just press 1 or 3, I guess, to go to side view. 1 is front view, 7 is top view. So we're gonna go to 3. You can also do that in view, and 0 is camera view. But you're gonna do U, project from view, S, Shift S, selection, selected the pixels, and we're gonna do more. It's not perfect, but the background is black anyway. So there's our texture. Why isn't it blurry? I guess it's sort of, yeah, it's sort of blurry. You can sort of see the blur. Well, if I render this, I think it'll show it. If I go into defaults, again, do textured solid thing. Go down here, shading, textured solid. I do 0. I'm gonna go ahead and drag this to where I want. You can also do go up here, lock camera to view, so that you can pan around your place with the camera here. Oh, and by the way, you do shift and then you middle mouse to drag around. I'll show you this. So you shift and middle mouse. I don't know why it doesn't show the shift, but shift and middle mouse to drag around sideways, I guess, sort of. So F12, oh, we have to assign it to its texture. So go into texture, yeah, I'm just going to do text, image or movie, select that one that we just used. It's going to be there because we already used it in the other one. UV, so that it's not, so that the textures aren't all wonky and warped. Map interpolation, unchecked. Oh wait, no. I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's blurry. So don't uncheck them. Well, I guess it's not being blurry right now, but usually maybe it's just supposed to be blurry sort of in that picture because it's like messing with the lights. Oh, and by the way, I made this picture in Blender, even the blurs on the eyes and stuff. But yeah, thanks Blender, now I can't show them. Well, you'll probably run into that when you find it, but yeah. But if you uncheck this and uncheck this, save user settings, you will get a beautiful texture. Yeah, that's a lot better than the other one. I'll show you the difference. So here, there's that. Okay, good. It just disappeared for a second. Save user settings. The arms got blurry a little. I don't know. It's not showing here. Not now, but if you want to do that thing with the add curve, add mesh, and then if you're going all, then you can add the chain, which is I'm not sure why it's not in the add thing. I don't know what that is. I don't know what most of this is. So yeah, that is user preferences. Alright, now that we've done that, let's go into the basics. Okay, it's recording. Didn't know if it was good. Let's go into the basics of animating. I have to do it here on the desktop or else it won't show the other windows. So yeah, sorry about the lag. Oh, well, thank you for not lagging anymore. Sort of, a little bit. I'm just gonna get a nice color. So, as you can see, there's that. There's this place. And earlier in the video, I think it was in the shortcuts section or something. I'll just show it to you again. This is the animating section. But, right here, that is the keyframe section. And to add a keyframe, you click I and location, since I'm only gonna do that. Actually, no. I'm gonna do location, rotation, scale. I'm gonna show you all of it. So just have this ready. If you know what your next keyframe is gonna be, and if you know you're gonna move it and rotate it and scale it, you're gonna do I, location, rotation, scale. Only moving and scaling that, it kind of shows it here. Visual stuff, I don't even know. So I just did location, rotation, scale. I'm gonna go over to 40. I'm gonna go over here, drag it there. You could also do G, which I'm just gonna do R to rotate it, and S to scale it. Now I'm going to do I, location, rotation, scale, and to duplicate this one so that it does it over again, going back to its original position, I'm going to go into animation, and it shows you these little triangles. Well, what are these triangles? They are your keyframes, but now you can drag them around. You couldn't drag them around here, so if I press G, you can't do that. So G, no, that doesn't work. Okay, so you can select the different keyframes by right-clicking them. If you select one and these ones are selected, that means that it's in the main thing. So if you delete that, it's not gonna delete the other ones. So there's these two under this. And you can, if you select like this one, it'll go in this. Okay, so just click on the top here at Dope Sheet Summary just so that you can select all these down. Shift D to duplicate. This works on everything. And you can drag it around. So I'm just going to press G and put it right on 80. So now if I go to 80, it's going to be right here. So now I can go back to default. I'm going to make it end at 80 so that it loops around from 80. And let's see what it looks like. So there we go. That's location, rotation, and scale at the same time. And that's basically what it looks like when that's happening. As you can see, it's just looping. And in the next video section thing, I'll be showing you how to model. Okay, so in this little part, I'm going to show how to model, just basic. Just wait for this to load. Okay, so in here, let's say you want to make a pyramid. You could probably do Shift A, mesh, something. No, you can't. Here you can see images, planes, but I'm not going to do that. So here we're going to learn how to make a pyramid that is a square at the bottom. And it is no longer going to have 8 vertices. It's going to have 5 since it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll show you how to do that too without deleting any vertices. Well, sort of. So basically, you just make sure you're in vertice. If vertice, you can also do edges and faces. And if you switch to different ones, it just selects it in the other thing. Goes from smallest to biggest. But you can just do Control Tab while you're in edit mode. And you can look around at those without having to drag this down. I just drag it around just cause. Oh, and by the way, you can do that to scale it with these things if you don't want to press S. And you can do S, Y, do it on the Y axis. And you can drag. So I'm going to select this top face. I'm going to do S0 to make it nothing. And then I'm going to go into vertice select to select all those. W, merge at center. Oops, I don't think that worked. B, and select them all. W, merge at center. There. That made those 4 vertices 1. And as you can see, the vertices 1, I'm selecting 1 out of 5. There is now 5 vertices here. Now if I wanted to make it a triangle at the bottom, I would just simply do S0, enter. This is not completely symmetrical, but I don't even care. I could probably make it better, but I'm not going to. Because again, I don't care. I do care, but you know, it's just a tutorial, guys. Just the basics. Oh, I see. So, at first means that it's the first vertex that you selected where it's going to merge. And at last, the other one at center is at the center of both of these, which I'm going to use. At cursor is at this little thing here. You can left click to drag it around, and if you want to put it back, you do 0, tab, 0, tab, 0. And oh, by the way, you shift and right click to select multiple. And then you do W, merge at center, makes it one vertex, and that is basic modeling. Now some of these are already here, so I could do Shift A, like if I wanted to make a ring. I would do Shift A, mesh, torus. And if I wanted to make it smoother without these pixels, I could probably do that here. No, but yeah, oh yeah, it has major segments and minor segments. But if you want to make it smooth, do that, smooth shading. But you can, to make it more HD, you can do subdivision surface. You could do 2, and you do apply. And then it'll be more HD. And then if you wanted to make a gold texture, I'm just going to do this now. You do new, I'm just going to name it gold. You can also double click on the name. I'm going to make it a nice yellow color, yellowish orange. I'm going to make the specularity all the way up. Check mirror. 0.2. And then I'm going to turn the gloss down. Just a little bit. There. And I'm going to make it a bolder one. So there, and then let's render that real quick. It's not reflecting anything now because it doesn't have anything to reflect, but it would in the thing. There are other tutorials on how to make gold and silver textures or whatever, what have you. Cycles render can do that a lot better since it's more realistic. I'm not going to get into that. I'm mainly just going to do Blender render. Yep. Okay, so now I'm going to go and do Shift A, mesh, landscape, and that gives you, I don't know if it's randomized or not. Shift A, mesh, landscape. Might be randomized. Yeah, I don't think it is. But if you just wanted a basic land, you do that. You do subdivision surface, add modifier, subdivision surface. Make it more HD and scale it up to whatever you want. And yeah, there's a lot of things that you can add, but as I showed you, you can just mess around with how you want to. You can do images as planes, and select your image in the file thing that I'll take you to, and it'll shape the plane to your picture. And yeah. So thank you guys for watching this basic Blender tutorial, and I will see you in the next tutorial.